guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video we're filming a chatty little sit down video. It's been a while since I've done a video like this, but we're doing a Q&A, and I love doing a Q&A. I used to do them quite often on this channel, haven't done one for a little while, so I thought I'm going to ask for some questions. I asked for my questions on Instagram and also my personal Facebook, so make sure you follow my Instagram at Esme Hill if you ever want to be involved in the next Q&A. It'll be on my stories and you can send in a question if you so wish. So first off, I had a few questions that were kind of similar to this. So it was sort of, what are you most looking forward to after lockdown? What are your first plans for after lockdown? You will all know, I assume, I mean it depends where you live, but I think most of my viewers are from the UK. Some aren't. If you're in the UK, we recently found out our roadmap, sort of how things are going to go and when things are going to open and what's going to happen, as long as everything goes to plan, like cases continue to drop, all that jazz. But at the moment we have a plan that may work, may not, who knows, but lockdown is ending kind of soon, and the first thing that I'm doing when lockdown ends, and the thing I'm the most excited for, is going back to work. I know, bet you weren't expecting that answer. Just kidding, it's all I ever talk about. We found out yesterday, we got an email yesterday, and then it has been announced by Alton Towers on their socials today that we are reopening on the 12th of April. The roadmap currently says that on April 12th more things can open, one of those being theme parks. I kid you not, when I watched his announcement and I heard him say that, I was so excited because I thought we would have to wait longer, and I would have understood because at the end of the day we need to make sure it's safe. So it's one of those things, isn't it? But yeah, they said theme parks could reopen on the 12th of April and I'm very, very excited. I get to go back to work soon to do some rehearsals and get straight back into it, and I cannot wait. That is the first thing I'm most excited for when lockdown ends. Of course, I'm excited for when rules completely drop and I can hug my friends and my family again, but for when lockdown ends, those restrictions, like the social distancing and everything, will still be in place, so I can't do that just yet. So the first thing I want to do is go to work, and I'm very excited about that. So I've only got about a month left until I can go back and life will slowly get back to normal. Hopefully, because I keep getting excited when lockdowns end, but then they just happen again. But hopefully this is the last stretch now. So that's the thing I'm most excited for, and basically the first thing I'm doing. But other than that, I don't really know. I'll probably just meet up with some more friends, socially distanced where I can, until it gets to June. They're saying June. Hopefully that's still true, where everything goes back to pretty much normal and I can actually see more people and hug people. Also, my birthday's in May. Last year I had a lockdown birthday. This year hopefully I won't. It sounds like I'll be able to have some friends in the garden. I think by then it's like the rule of 6. You can have up to 6 people in your garden, something like that. Obviously I'll make sure I'm still following the rules. I will look into it more, but it might mean I get a better birthday this time. Not that my last birthday wasn't good, but get a birthday where I can see a few more people, you know. Anyway, I very much rambled on with that question, but yeah, work. You guys know it's my favourite place in the world and it's where I want to be. I just miss it so much. It's where I'm at my happiest and I get to go back soon. I'm very excited. Next question is favourite TikTok videos to film. If you don't know, I love TikTok. I enjoy it far too much. I have a great time. My favourite ones to film. I love doing, one that I really enjoyed doing recently was a Harry Potter outfits one, and it was different outfits inspired by different characters. It took me a really long time to film, but I really enjoyed it and it was quite fun. There's a trend that started recently where you do a transition into your favourite character. Yeah, it basically goes from you and then you do something and it transitions into a character doing it, and I love doing those kind of videos. I like the ones where you start off, you know, your hair's all messy, you've got no makeup on, then you do a little transition and you're all ready to go. They're fun. But yeah, probably the ones where I get to edit like my favourite characters into them and stuff, or themed to some of my favourite things. They're always fun. They obviously take the longest, but they're the most fun. Next question is, what are your top 5 TV series? I felt like this was a hard question because I was like, which ones are my top 5? But I think I've kind of narrowed it down. So first off, Friends has always been my favourite. I've been watching it since I was so much younger. I've just grown up watching that show and I still love it. It's one of those shows where it doesn't matter how many times I watch it, I will still love it just as much. I never get sick of it. I just absolutely love it. The next one's more of a recent discovery. I've talked about it on my channel a little bit before. It is Modern Family. We started watching it last year in the first lockdown. I think it was in the first lockdown. It was last year at some point. My sister told me, my mum and dad, to start watching it. She was like, you guys would absolutely love it. It's on Netflix. Go give it a watch. Not all the seasons are on Netflix, but the last few are on Sky. So we're on the last season now and we're quite sad about it because we don't want it to end, but I think we're just going to watch it all again. It's one of those ones that, again, you could just watch over and over and never get sick of it. It's absolutely brilliant. I strongly recommend that you go and watch that show. It's hilarious. I love all the characters in it. It's so funny. It's such a nice, chilled, laid back show to watch, you know. It's such a comfort show. It's brilliant. Absolutely love it. Next, RuPaul's Drag Race. That show is very important to me. It's not only is it just brilliant and so much fun to watch, but also it just means a lot to me because that show sort of helped me come out of my shell a bit more, and obviously eventually I came out to everyone. If you didn't know, I'm bi, and that show really helped me accept myself. I went to DragCon last January and it was so inspiring, being in a room full of people that were so accepting and so loving, and I just love being a part of that community. And it was just, yeah, that show is just brilliant and I love it. I've got to say, I think I prefer, I mean, I'm pretty sure I definitely prefer the UK version to the US version. I don't know, let me know what you think, but I feel like I prefer it. I don't know, especially this year, I'm enjoying both, but I'm enjoying the UK version even more. I think the US version, last year's season, is my favourite so far. There are a few of the older seasons that I need to watch a bit more because I've kind of just watched bits here and there, and there's a few seasons that I've not properly sat and watched all the way through. Season 12 was my favourite so far, with Crystal Method, Gigi Good. 11 out of 10 series that was. Let me know if you guys like Drag Race. Let me know your thoughts if you prefer UK to US or vice versa. Let me know who your favourite queens are from the UK version and the US version this year. US version for me is Utica. I love her, she's amazing. I always love the like fun and quirky ones. Going along those lines, I also love Gottmik. Absolutely incredible drag queen, amazing. And the UK version, I keep changing my mind because I love so many of them so much. I do love Lawrence Chaney because absolutely hilarious, but also Bimini, amazing. But Tace is incredible, and I love Ahura. I love them all, I can't decide. Yeah, I'm loving it, basically. Another top show of mine. Next is one I haven't watched in a long time. This is where I kind of got stuck because I didn't really know what to choose. One I've been watching recently is How I Met Your Mother. I say recently, for a little while, but I'm only like 6 seasons in. I haven't been watching it religiously. I kind of just go back to it every so often, and I am really enjoying that because I've not watched it before. But also Once Upon a Time, I remember watching that quite late to the bandwagon. I started watching it when the whole show had already finished, and I don't know why it took me so long to watch it, but I absolutely fell in love with it. It got to a certain point a few seasons in where it started to get a little bit, I don't know, started to get a bit more dull. Like I wasn't as hooked on it, but I powered through and then I just loved it again. I think it's brilliant, and of course is my kind of thing. I mean, need I say any more? I wrote in my notes trying to think of which ones to mention. I also just wrote Disney Channel because I feel like you're gonna judge me, but Hannah Montana, I feel like it's still one of my favourite seasons, or TV shows of all time. And also Sweet Life, that's brilliant. Well, That's So Raven. I've rambled on a lot in this question, but basically, to sum it up, I can't pick 5, but there's a kind of an idea. So, Modern Family, Friends, Once Upon a Time, Drag Race, and all of the like OG Disney Channel shows. I guess we'll go with that. Now, my friend Cara sent me some interesting questions. She sent me a load of really random ones. One of them being, can you turn around 4 times with a book on your head singing This Is Me? Challenge accepted. This is real, this is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna let the light shine on me. Now I've found who I am, there's no way to hold it in. No more hiding who I wanna be. This is me. There you go, your answer's yes. Also, are you shocked that it's Harry Potter that I've got balanced on my head? Ah, hope you enjoyed that, folks. There's your little intermission for the day. Also, if you're wondering what I'm reading at the moment, Chamber of Secrets. Next question is, what's your new favourite thing? My new favourite thing, like, I don't know what that would include. Is it a favourite physical thing? Just a favourite thing? I don't know, but I'm gonna go with a couple of favourite things at the moment. First off, gaming videos. You guys probably know this. I've been making some myself recently. Absolutely loving it. If you haven't watched them yet, go check them out. They're quite fun. I know it might not be necessarily games that you're into, but just seeing my reactions to them is quite hilarious. Like the one I'm playing at the moment, Little Nightmares 2. It's quite creepy and it's just hilarious to see my reactions, but I'm loving making gaming videos, I'm loving watching gaming videos, I'm loving Jacksepticeye. He's like my new favourite person in the whole world, so does he count as my new favourite thing? Because that's probably what I want to say. Love him, adore him so much. And also, as well as that, a website I recently discovered. That's a new favourite thing. Again, mentioned this in a previous vlog, so you might know what I'm on about. But it's a website where some fans have put together to make Hogwarts classes where you can actually like take them, like you can actually submit assignments and do work and submit it into the website, or you can just read through the classes. Yeah, it's got loads of different Hogwarts classes on there and you can read through them, and like I said, you can actually send in assignments and there's like exams you can do. It's like a website where it's basically you go to Hogwarts and it's amazing, and you can also join your house's common room and join like chat rooms and stuff, and you can talk to other people. It's so cool and I absolutely love it. I've only used it a little bit so far, but I think it's so cute. But I just like reading the different lessons, like reading about different spells and stuff. I just find it really interesting to read, and I know that's really nerdy. Both of the things I just said are extremely nerdy, but they're my current favourite things ever. They are the main things that are keeping me distracted at the moment, and I just love it. They're my new favourite things. There are other things that are of course keeping me distracted, but they're not necessarily new things. Like, I've been enjoying them for a while. I don't know. But anyway, I'll go on to one of them in one of the next questions anyway. The next question is, will you audition for Disneyland Paris again when the parks reopen and auditions continue after COVID? Yes, I probably will. It's something that I, of course, still love and love the idea of, and it's something I would still really like to do. And I think, why the hell not? It's still a dream job of mine, of course. That hasn't gone away. I am very lucky in the fact that the job I have now is also one of my dream jobs, so I'm very happy in that job. It's still something I really want to achieve, even just if it was a short contract, even just for a little while, maybe longer, who knows. But like I said, I'm very happy in my current job, so I'm very lucky in that. But it is still something I'm gonna just try for. It's just fun, isn't it? And why the hell not? I can't let that dream die yet. I can't let it die. It's got to happen. It's going to happen. I want to prove to all of you, the guys that have been following my channel and all these audition experience videos and my whole journey from start to, well, not finished because it's not finished yet, but you know what I mean. From the very start, some of you have been following this, and I'm going to keep going for myself, but also for you guys. But yeah, I definitely will keep going with that. Next question is, if you could have a dream role after lockdown ends, what would it be? So if I were to, for example, go and do a show, what is the one show I guess I'd want to do and what role it'd be? Obviously this would be outside of my current job. If I were to, for some reason, attend an audition for a certain show that happened to be around and get the part. Basically, dream roles of mine. So the main one is Mary Poppins, in Mary Poppins the musical, you know, kind of obvious, but a dream role of mine. I've done a lot of Mary Poppins performances for different talent shows. I actually auditioned for Britain's Got Talent as Mary Poppins. I found the pictures and videos from the behind the scenes stuff the other day. I literally got to the last stage just before you meet the judges and Ant and Dec. So they did loads of filming of me because they obviously looked a bit different to everyone else that day. So the producers were doing loads of filming of me. We did the whole thing where I sat down with my dad and I went with my friend Matt as well, because he was auditioning too, and they sat us down, they filmed us having a chat, you know how you see before someone's audition, it's them talking about like being excited to meet the judges, all of that. I got to film all of that. They filmed me like, you know, put my lipstick on. They filmed me walking through the crowd with my little parasol. That day feels like a fever dream to me. Like it baffles me that that even happened. It was really cool. It was a really cool experience, like something different. But then obviously I didn't get to the actual judges. I got to the last stage just before them, and then I didn't hear anything back, which is really annoying. So I thought maybe some of my footage will still get used. Maybe you'll still see me twirling my parasol, you know, they might still include it. No, none of it was on there, which I was a bit gutted about, but it was still fun. So yeah, there's a fun little fact for you. I'll include a couple of photos. They're kind of illegal photos that my dad took, but it's been about 5 years now, so I feel like I could probably share them with you. But it was an incredible experience. I just remember thinking, what is happening? It was just the most surreal thing I've experienced. And it was really funny as well, because me and my friend Matt were waiting outside before we went in for our audition. Well, we were waiting for my dad to park the car and then we were going to go in. But we were stood outside the, oh, what's it called? It's in Birmingham, the ICC, I think it was. A few people came up and asked to have a photo with me because I was dressed as Mary Poppins, and it was really funny. Oh, that was a weird day. But there you go, there's a fun little fact for you that I bet you didn't know. I was almost on TV. Next question is, where in the UK would you like to go on holiday this year? Outside of the UK, a very big holiday of mine got cancelled, which was Disney World. Still want to go there soon. Who knows if that'll ever happen now? I don't know. But UK wise, the next place I'd like to go to on a little holiday maybe, I loved Brighton when I went, but that was a really long time ago, and I went with my ex-boyfriend. I loved it there. It's such a beautiful place. We were really lucky with the weather as well. It was just so nice, and I'd love to go back there again. So maybe that's somewhere I'd like to go soon, I guess. I'm really excited to be able to go back. This isn't holiday wise, this is just like a day out. I love London. Obviously I've been there quite a few times, and I've been quite a few times on my own now when I've been for Disney auditions, and I'll audition in the morning and then I'll spend the rest of the day wandering around London until I get my train in the evening. And I was always so scared to do it, but now I'm so used to it that I just love it. And I'm excited to have one of those days again. They are a little bit stressful still, and some days are more scary than others. Like, I think one of the last times I auditioned before everything closed down in London, I remember that one, I'd done it a few times before, gone to London on my own to audition, but this one day I was particularly anxious for whatever reason, and that was quite hard. But you know, it's fun, and other than that, I do really enjoy those little days out. I'm just, honestly, at this point, I'd just go anywhere really. The main thing I've thought about, like I said, is going back to work and seeing my friends and family, so anything aside from that is just a bonus. But yeah, Brighton's probably a place I want to visit again soon. I did consider going on a little solo trip to Brighton not long ago. Well, before the pandemic happened, I was looking into it. Maybe just doing a little solo trip for a few days to Brighton. Because I thought about going for a day, but that's quite a lot because it takes quite a while to get there, obviously, because I have to get a train to London and then to Brighton. So it's like a 4-hour journey altogether, I think it is. Because I think it's like a couple of hours to London and a couple of hours to Brighton, so it's around about 4 hours. So you could do it in one day, it'd just be a lot of travelling, and I think if I did go again I'd want to stay for longer so I can do more. So I was like, do I do a little solo trip for a few days? But then I was like, would I want to share it with a friend or whatever? But yeah, that is one place I'll probably go to next. Next question is, what are your plans for the next year? So again, something I've spoken about briefly on some recent vlogs, but first thing I need to do, or one of the first things I need to do, is to get myself a car. And I don't have a car, but I'm insured on my mum's car at the moment and we share it, so that works out fine for us right now. But that's because I'm living at home currently, and this leads on to another plan for within the next year maybe, hopefully, we'll see. But I am looking into moving out for the first time. I know, it's taken me a long time. I'm 23, 24 in May, and probably most people have already moved out by this age, but I kind of matured slowly, like a bit slower than everyone else my age. I've just found it difficult with my anxiety and everything. I just really struggled with the whole, you know, moving on, growing up. I didn't go to university, one, because I wasn't really phased about it. Like, even like just the education side of it, I wasn't that bothered, but also the fact I would have had to move out. I did a HND course at a college instead, so it meant I stayed at home. Just with a lot of things, I feel like I've matured a bit later. I feel like I've been a bit delayed just with my mental health. I just wasn't ready to do a lot of things that were the typical thing for my age. I don't know how to explain it. Basically, it really bugs me that there is this timeline. It's like routine, that it's almost like everyone should be doing things a certain way. Like, by this age you should have moved out, by this age you should be having kids, by this age you should be getting married, and if you don't do that then it's abnormal and it's deemed as weird, or like, I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. Basically, there isn't a time limit on any of these things, and there isn't an age limit on any of these things. Like, if you're still living at home by like 30, you vibe. Like, why does it matter? If you know, don't want to ever have kids, or you don't have kids till you're 40, it doesn't matter. I don't like that there's this time stamp on everything, that you should be doing things in a certain order at certain times of your life. So like, by the time you're 18, you should be going off to university or moving out to go and do something. As you're getting older and those sort of things are coming around and they're sort of more of an option, like, you still shouldn't feel like they're your only option, you know? Not only was my mental health making things a bit more delayed, just in general I didn't feel ready to do these things, and it's taken me a while. I want to say I'm ready now, but I know it's going to be hard. But mentally I'm kind of maturing a lot more now, and then I feel like it makes it sound like I'm really immature. It's not that, you guys know what I mean. It's just mentally I was in a place for so long where I just needed to be in my bubble, and I was too scared to do like anything. Like, a lot of the time I didn't even want to leave my house, so the thought of even moving to a different place or going away to uni was just not an option for me. It was absolutely not an option. So now I've got this job, this like permanent contract, and it's a dream job of mine. I'm really happy. I'm sort of in a place now where I can look into, you know, moving into my own little flat, just having my own little place. Like, obviously it wouldn't be my forever home or anything, it'd just be moving into my own little flat. I need my own space now, you know. I'm starting to accumulate stuff as I get older, and it's too much for this small room that I'm in right now. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely love being here and I'm going to miss it so much. And I haven't actually officially, you know, started renting anywhere. Like, it's not officially complete. It's just something I'm looking into at the moment and potentially going to be doing within the next year. But it's really weird to talk about. Like, I don't know, it's just something I've been keeping to myself a little bit and looking into. But yeah, that's something that I'm planning on doing within the next year maybe. But also the fact that we're potentially going back to normal within the next year, I just want to enjoy every moment and just relax a bit. I don't know if any of that made sense. Next question is, what was your most expensive lockdown purchase? I have it right here to show you. You guys will probably know what it is. Gotten a lot of use. My most expensive purchase of lockdown, I mean, we've all been making some purchases in lockdown, I assume, like getting bored, you want some deliveries, you want, I don't know, it brings you a little bit of joy, doesn't it? But one thing I'd been wanting for a really long time, and I was like, do I do it? It's quite expensive, I shouldn't really. And then lockdown happened, so I was thinking about it even more because everyone was getting them or already had them and was playing them even more. And then my birthday happened and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm buying a Nintendo Switch. So just after my birthday, I bought this. This is the most expensive thing I've bought in lockdown. I haven't bought loads in lockdown, to be fair. I've been pretty good. Like, I've treated myself a little bit with some things, but everyone needs that at the moment. But this is the most expensive thing I brought. These themselves are like about 300 quid, like 250, 270 quid. This is the normal Switch. Obviously you can get the Switch Lite, but that means you can't take the controls off the side and you can't connect to your TV, and I really wanted to do that. I bought it in a bundle with a couple of games, so it ended up coming to like £400, which is quite a lot of money. But I mean, already I'm like, why did it take me so long to buy this? Like 400 quid for this and a couple of games, in my eyes, has been 1,000,000% worth it. Obviously since then I've bought lots more games. I'm actually thinking of doing a video. I saw Brogan Tate film a video like this recently where she talked about her Nintendo Switch and the games she plays on it, some of her favourites, some she didn't like as much. Just a little review on her Switch, and I really want to do that video because this has been my saviour since May of 2020. This has been incredible. This is, again, probably the best distraction that I've had during this pandemic. I've loved playing this. I love playing games like I've always loved Nintendo products. I've got a Wii, I've got a DS that I've played a little bit in the first lockdown actually. I haven't played in a while, maybe I should get that out again as well. But I thought, you know what, it's worth it. Also, I wanted the new Animal Crossing game, which obviously you can only get on the Switch, and I had the one on the Wii and on the DS, so I was like, I feel like I need it for Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing, oh my god. But I'm not going to go too much into that because, like I said, I want to make a whole video on it. So let me know if you'd be interested. That might be my next little sit down video I film for you. But this is my most expensive purchase of lockdown. But let me tell you, I have absolutely zero regrets. Best purchase I think I've ever made, so there you go. And finally, on to the last question, which is, how is your mental health now compared to the first lockdown? So this is a very broad question, you know, and one that I don't really know the full answer to, if I'm honest, because right now I would say it's a lot better, but then in some cases, like towards the start of this lockdown and also throughout the second lockdown, like it was a lot worse. But then I don't even know, in some aspects it's better, but some it was worse, and it was just a bit of a weird one. I'd say right now it's better. Like first lockdown, I think as well, because we never got an end date straight away. With the second, I know we didn't for the third one either, but I don't know. It's so hard to explain. You guys can probably relate. The first one, obviously, it's something we weren't used to. For the first couple of weeks, obviously I was upset because I was having to leave work. I was absolutely gutted. Obviously having time off work was not something I wanted to do. But then I was kind of like, oh, this is nice. I can just do what I want. I don't have to do anything. Like the weather, we had really nice weather. The weather is getting better. As you can see, the sun is shining right now in my room because that's why I've got this awful lighting. I do apologise. But the weather was good, so I'd sit outside in the morning reading my book and I just felt zen. But then it started to kick in because at this point we thought everywhere was going to be closed for a few weeks and then we'd go back to normal. That was the original plan because no one really realised the severity of this whole pandemic, and it just kept going. So then I was like, okay, this is longer than I thought. And that was a killer, and I felt like I was going back to square one with my mental health, like where I started when I first started to feel all the anxiety symptoms when I was younger. I felt like I was going backwards, and I was like, I don't know if we're ever going to go back to normal ever again. It's just never end. This is just it now. We're going to be stuck inside forever. This was just my mental health taking over my brain completely. Like I just couldn't think, I could not see a light at the end of the tunnel. Like I had no hope whatsoever. I was completely hopeless, completely lost, and I thought, this is it. This is all I'm ever going to know for the rest of my life now. And that sounds really dramatic saying it out loud, but I really did feel like, and I know a lot of other people felt like, it was just never going to end. And I lost people and got into arguments with people that I never thought I would, and it just really turned things around. And of course I was extremely lucky that, you know, throughout this whole pandemic, touch wood, I've stayed healthy and I've been very lucky in that sense, of course. But mentally I've not been so lucky. I've really struggled. Second lockdown was probably my worst mental health, even though that was the shortest one. I think because of the time of year it was, like in the winter my mental health's usually quite a lot worse. So I think that was probably it as well. But I think it was because I was like, we're in a lockdown again. I thought we'd only have one lockdown, like that one was long enough, and I thought we were on the way back to some kind of normal. Restrictions are slowly being lifted. I'd just done Oktoberfest, absolute best experience of my life. Then into Scarefest, so it was all absolutely like booming. There were still all these restrictions in place, but you know, I was at the height of work, like it was all going super fast. It was just like go, go, go. And then all of a sudden we're in a lockdown again. And I was like, we're back to square one. And it killed me. Like it was so mentally draining for me, and I really struggled. First lockdown I was the same, but also like second lockdown it hit me, I guess, a little bit more. Like I don't know, it's because I think back to some moments I'm like, oh no, the first one was worse, and then I'm like, oh maybe this one's worse. Oh, I don't know. For a little while I was thinking, oh, the third lockdown's been hardest on me, but I actually don't think it has necessarily. It has been for different reasons. It has been because I'm like, are you serious, we're in a third lockdown? Like, this is it? Like, is it just going to be lockdown after lockdown after lockdown? But also, I've matured a lot and I've really accepted myself more. I've found things I enjoy, and you know, I've set out a plan for my future, because I depended on work a lot for my happiness. Like, I relied on that so much, so every time I wasn't there I was just depressed. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but I was so dependent on work being my only source of happiness that whenever I wasn't there, and then when going into lockdown, I found it really hard to cope. But this lockdown, I've really, you know, managed to find some more things that I can enjoy that are genuinely bringing me happiness outside of work, which is good, because of course it's a good thing that work brings me so much joy and it's my favourite place in the world, but I also need other things outside of work to enjoy, so that that's not the only thing I'm dependent on. Of course, normally it'd also be seeing friends and family, all of that jazz, but of course can't do that at the moment. But like I said earlier, I've been loving making these gaming videos. That's really helped me. My love for Harry Potter has helped me a lot through this pandemic. Again, really cheesy, but it really has, because that is a whole thing that you can get involved in. The books, the films, everything else that's a part of it. That's definitely helped. I'm so sorry about this lighting, guys. It's a weird time of day, but at least you can see that the weather is glorious, which is definitely helping my mood. Mentally, I think I've grown a lot. Like, I'm not completely better. I don't even know if that's even possible. Oh, goodness me, that's not a vibe, is it? So, as you can see, the light is creeping in a bit more, so I keep having to move my angle. We are nearly at the end though, don't worry. But overall, yes, I would probably say my mental health now is better than it was. There you go, those are all the questions for this Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you'd like me to do any more videos like this, and also again let me know if you want me to do that video about my Switch and some of the games I've been loving and anything else. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye!